Hi everyone. By far the most common question Herb Prime gets asked is what is the concentration ratio between dried herbs and herbal medicine granules? Well, here it is. This document states the concentration ratio between dried herb and herb granule for hundreds of commonly used herbal medicines. We should point out that this document only applies to Sun 10 granules. We cannot speak for other companies or other suppliers. So there's the answer to the question. But I would argue that the question itself is flawed. I would argue that concentration ratio is really only of importance to herbal medicine producers, and that those of us who are using herbal medicine in practice should be focusing on something else altogether. When we prescribe dried herbs, most of us don't go back to the Shanghan Lun and prescribe based on the dosages in there. We're not taking sheng and jing and converting them into milliliters and grams. What most of us do is open up Formulas and Strategies or your preferred herbal medicine text. You look at the recommended daily dosage ranges in those texts, which are based on research and clinical experience, and you make your own prescription based on those. So why not do the same for granulated medicine? Why are we doing this mental arithmetic with the concentration ratio? And speaking of the concentration ratio, if you look at it in this document, you'll see it varies wildly. Some herbs have a 1-to-1 ratio, like renshen, baishen, or minerals. What this means is that these are basically treated and pulverized versions of the original dried herb. Other herbs vary in concentration from 1-to-3 to 1-to-10. So as you can see, converting via concentration ratio is not a straightforward process. The reason for this variation is, in my opinion, very interesting and is to do with Sun 10's research into how to choose the best production method to get the most efficacy out of each individual herb. This is something I'll talk about more in a subsequent video. But for sure it adds a lot of complexity to the concentration ratio question, which is probably not easy to apply in clinical practice. So what should we be focusing on instead? These columns here are the recommended minimum, maximum, and average daily dosage for each herbal granule. This figure is arrived at by gathering together many different strands of information. The concentration ratio, the extraction ratio, the recommended dried herb daily dosage, but most importantly, the clinical experience of doctors who have been prescribing granules. This figure is not based on research using dried herb whose figures have then been converted into granules. This is based on the experience of thousands of doctors who have been using Sun 10 granules for over 70 years. So here is the real clinically relevant answer to the question of granulated herbal medicine dosage. It's not to do with concentration ratio, it's to do with clinical experience using the granules. The last thing I want to mention is the second most common question we get asked regarding granules, and that is the use of cornstarch as an excipient. Sun 10 uses non-GMO cornstarch as an excipient in many of its granules. There are a couple of reasons for this, primarily because the cornstarch binds to volatile oils that would otherwise be evaporated once the boiling water is added. So this facilitates reabsorption of those volatile oils by the patient. The second reason is shelf life. Certain herbs like shengli-huang are extremely sticky, and without the addition of something like cornstarch will rapidly start to clump together and become unusable. Now, some companies use other excipients. A very common one is maltodextrin. However, maltodextrin is not inert. It is a carbohydrate with an extremely high GI index, which means that it spikes blood sugar. Certain studies also say that it can cause gut inflammation and affect the microbiome. So Sun 10 continues to use cornstarch as an excipient in some of its herbal medicine granules. In other granules, however, it uses powdered versions of the original herb itself as an excipient, and the reasons for that I will get into in a subsequent video. Unfortunately, I've had to skim over a lot of topics in this one in order to keep things brief, but we know that this is a topic of great interest to the herbal medicine community, so please let us know your questions, let us know your comments, and we'll do our best to address them in the next video. As I said before, the document I've been referring to is available upon request from Herb Prime. We'd like to thank Sun 10 in general and President of Sun 10, Dr. Zhuang in particular, for helping us put this video together. Most of the information here is based on conversations with and presentations by Dr. Zhuang and his staff, and we thank him for his time. Also, thank you for your time and attention. And like I said, any questions, any comments, please leave them down below. Thank you.